What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Real Deal Sports. Usual guys are here. Myself, Brother John, Big Wall. Gentlemen, this has been a can't even say eventful, but crazy past couple days since the last time we met. We got we just gonna start with the biggest story. Coach Udoka of the Boston Celtics has been suspended for a year for they're claiming it was a consensual sexual relationship, but now, as we were talking backstage, it seems like every day is something deeper coming out about it. It started off, it was one of the staffers, then come to find out it's somebody's wife, the higher ups in the business. Then I just found out today a player might have outed the situation. It's a lot, man. What's your take on it, John?
Is for me because a lot more, like you said, a lot more is going to come out about this. So I'm sure we'll talk about it again. But for me, is so I don't want to speculate on anything yet until we actually have the facts. But where does this? My question is, where does this leave Boston? Where does
Mm,
this leave the Celtics?
yeah.
Um, it's can they, because now somehow, I don't know how, right, after the finals, Golden State is the favorite to win the next championship, but somehow, despite not making really that many moves or any really, and Golden State has several guys returning from injury that they didn't have, somehow now Boston is the favorites to win the finals. Like they're the somehow over the last few months they've turned into the favorites. Now I don't see how that can be. Like, there's no way they're the favorites now. I mean, I don't know where this puts them. That's my question for y'all: is it does Boston have a chance?
Before you answer that, Walt, what's your take on the situation?
I mean, honestly, I just feel like it's a terrible situation for for both Adoku and the Boston Celtics whole organization. I should say, just how the organization handled the whole entire situation.
Yeah.
Um, going off base what John was saying. This like just how they were being a contender. They were just literally a contender last year. In the finals last year, I should say, literally like what was it, game 6, game 7 away from possibly winning the championship. So just for all this to happen, and just a matter of a couple months, because I mean that what just happened in June that they just lost in the finals. So I mean, they really haven't came out and said like how long everything has been going on or whatever like that. But to lose your head coach, who literally just got you to the finals, and to possibly have to just have your interim coach, I forgot who they said they assigned to the head coaching position now. I think they said it was the assistant head coach, if I'm not mistaken, but I forgot his name. Excuse me for bombing your name, but I ain't going to try it. But just that's going to take. I just feel like that's going to take a lot of momentum away from the Celtics now, just because Doku was just that. I feel like he was that key piece to the Celtics, I should say, just because of his coaching style from going back to the San Antonio days, like being in the pot for so long. So I'm not really sure, what the guy's resume is, who's taking over, what I'm saying, what he's really done, but I really feel like that's going to hurt him, and I really don't feel like they're going to make the finals next year, just based off of coaching, because I really feel like coaching plays a big part into throughout the season, because you're gonna go through a lot of ups and downs. So I definitely feel like it's gonna be tough for the Boston Celtics this year. And just like I said, based off our organization, man, I really don't understand why the organization handled it this way and having a press conference about this whole thing. I just really feel like they should have kept it inside and handled it like that instead of making it public. But that's just me personally.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. Is that
Yeah.
they're
Real
not?
quick, real quick, hold on. They said the new head coach is Joe Mazzulla.
Joe Mazzulla. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the new intern head coach of the Celtics. So
Okay. Like I said, I'm not really what his resume is. I can look it up. As you guys talk, but it's just gonna be a difficult season for the Celtics, though. But yeah, go ahead, John. I know you had something to say real quick.
Yeah, happy Sunday. Because I was thinking actually names. I mean, his name is Ime Udoka. But yeah, it's for me, man. Like, the Boston has been through, I don't want to say like turmoil, but I mean they've been through a lot of ups and downs roster wise, right? And it hasn't made a difference. I mean, they made the playoffs. Avery Bradley was the best player. The next year, Isaiah Thomas, they win. They're first in the East. Isaiah Thomas is an MVP candidate. Then they just move on from him, bring in Kyrie, Gordon Hayward. Boom, Gordon Hayward gets hurt game one. They sign him to a massive contract. He's just sitting there on their bench eating this massive contract. Still make the playoffs. The next year, Kyrie ends up getting hurt, and Tatum, as a rookie, takes them to the Eastern Conference Finals. They don't miss a beat. I'm trying to think. Kyrie comes back. They give him back the reins of this team after Tatum just took them to the finals, and they still make the playoffs. And then the next year was the bubble. They had that massive Kemba Walker contract. He didn't pan out. Still make the playoffs. I mean, this team just keeps going and going and going. Last year they make the finals, whatever. With a coaching change, they make the finals. Like, how are they going to be with a new coach? Boom, NBA Finals. Now another coach. It's like every year, it's like something changes about this roster, and not like, oh, they added a nice Enes Kanter, Enes Freedom, whatever. Like, I'm talking about headline changes, man. Kyrie, Isaiah Thomas, like now Marcus Smart's our point guard, Tatum, Brown, whatever. And yet they still seem to thrive. So this team is a very durable team, for whatever reason. But at some point, man, like, it's got to snap. Like, at some point, like, you've got to, for most teams, you've got a very small window. I mean, unless you got LeBron or whatever like that, most teams throughout history in every sport, you had a very small window to win. Yeah. And so, like, this is just bad. I think this is real bad because even last year with Ime as their new coach, they were 25-25, 50 games in the season. And then they finish out it wasn't until then that they went on that 26-6 run to finish out the season. So with a new coach, man, like, I'm not gonna say it's be starting over, but because you have the talent, they have experience, they have they've 2 NBA Finals on their belts, so they have that. But I don't know, man. I think they're out. I think maybe they can make the Eastern Conference Finals. But I just don't see that this team just can keep doing this year in, year out. And I don't know. I think this knocks them out of definitely being favorites to make the finals in the East.
I think it's to your point. It's it's a culture shock. Because it's like, man, you felt like Boston was finally in a position similar to where they were when they had, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and them guys. And, and if you think about it, they were all their core were drafted. They didn't spend money to bring in a lot of guys outside of like Brogdon. Really everybody they had on the team, Smart, Tatum, Brown, they were drafted. So it was homegrown. And, they just needed a guy to push them over the edge. And Udoka was that for them. And
right.
Now this situation.
So, yeah, that's a good point because, like, there could be some sort of animosity toward the team. Like, maybe their players don't think this is fair. Like, if Ime really is their guy, because, it did seem like Brad
Stevens.
One of the problems was he didn't have a connection with his players. Mm-hmm. And that's why they brought in Ime. So I assume Ime had was able to make some sort of connection with these players. So if there's a chance that these guys don't think it was fair that this suspension compared to what he did, there could be animosity toward the team. It's a whole thing, man. I don't.
Yeah, this whole situation is going to be crazy. I guess we just all have to see how it falls out throughout the season, especially with John making that point of him being so close with the players. I'm just curious of wondering if how well the players are going to play under Joe, especially with them having that same connection. Different connection with Ime, I should say. Are they going to play as hard for him as they did for Ime, I should say? So, but I'm just curious because I know I was watching a lot of sports channels yesterday or whatever, and they were saying like this might be like the last chance for Udoka. I mean, Ime, because of the things that he just did this season, I should say. But I mean, I don't really. I'm just to get to my point. All I'm pretty much trying to say is I just don't feel like this should be his last chance. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he should definitely be able to get another chance. Yes, the man he messed up, but he should definitely still get another chance. But I just don't understand why Boston's suspending him instead of allowing him to go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? That's just pretty much like you putting him in timeout. You know what I'm saying?
Or
And then
not even just fire him.
right, you know what I'm saying? Just fire him. If it was that bad of a source, and then it's like I don't know. I just feel like the way that the organization is handling the whole situation, though, it's just beyond me, man. And just to go back to what I was saying with him getting another chance, Joe, this is his second chance too because they just said that he beat like a battery domestic assault back in like 2019 or something like that. So you know what I'm saying? If he can get a second chance, I don't see why he can't. I mean, he may can't get a second chance. I mean, I know it's kind of a different circumstances, but I mean, his is a little bit steeper than having sex with somebody. But I guess at the end of the day, everybody deserves a chance. That's what I'm pretty much trying to say. So
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm right, and that's the thing. I don't want to speculate because I'm sure more is going to come out from this, but like, there has to be more. It can't just be he had consensual relationships with someone on the team. You can't like that. There's no way that's it. Like, if it is, man, this is some borderline Calvin Ridley type stuff. Like, really, a season for
Right.
that? Like, what are you talking about?
Right. Yeah.
Like, so that's why I'm waiting to. This for me has to do with like where does this leave the Celtics more than like what really happened because I already know like the second I speculate it's going to turn out to be something completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you make a great point. And like I was like watching a lot of these TV stations, and a lot of these, it was mostly black men reporters made the point of, this ain't news. It's been happening. Why are you trying to, like make him the poster child for something that's been happening forever?
it's just here. So happily just got to the media. That's all it is.
Well, I did it get to the media or did they put it out there?
Well, true, and that's
What's
what I'm
No.
saying. Going back to the organization, how they handle it. I mean, between the
Yeah.
team, the staff. I mean, between the players, the staff, and coaches, it's just that miscommunication. You can't have that right now, especially just off the type of season y'all just had. So, I mean, like John said, it's got to be a lot more to the situation. If they saying that supposedly a player snitched. So, I mean, it's just I'm sure a lot more is going to come out, but I'm sure a lot is going to stay in as well. So, I mean, we're never really going to find out what really happened, unless Ime and the lady or whatever actually tells us exactly what happened. I should say.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I don't really know when they were supposed to release it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, we're going to notice he's not coaching the Celtics. So, like, I don't know when, but, now there's a lot of speculation. Maybe his team, Udoka's team, released this to get out ahead of it or something, or, who knows who released it. But,
why release it? That's my question, though. Like,
well, I mean, you had to eventually. I mean, we were going to.
I would like Nico just said. It's been, like Nico just said. This has been going on for years, and I mean, I won't say nobody really.
So I'm not talking about. I'm like why they suspended him. That's I don't know why they suspended him. I'm not, but I'm saying like eventually we were going to find out that he was suspended.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say you can't like at some point they had to release that he was suspended. Now, did they have to suspend him? I don't know what the heck is going on with that. But at some point they had to tell us like, hey, he's suspended. I mean, we were gonna notice he wasn't there, like coaching at some point. So you couldn't just like go into the next season and be like, what?
and really, I'm not making any judgment, but you really could have handled that on the low, honestly. You could have handled it on the low. Now I don't know what happened to where they had to put it out there, but I mean, you hear about this stuff all the time. But you also hear about, yeah, he divorced his wife, or you could have just said you're moving on from him. or some. You didn't have to put all the man business out there because at the
And
end of it, go ahead.
no, and I'm just saying, I was just going kind of like feeding off what you're saying. I wonder if would they have really put this out if it was like if it wasn't for it being like the VP's wife, like or would they have put it out if it was like maybe just him sleeping with
That's
a
history, coach.
janitor lady or something, or what I'm saying, some type of manager or something. You feel me? So it's just like I'm just wondering if it's get this amount of clout because of the fact of who it was and who the wife. I mean, who the wife was to the team, I should say.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot of stuff that's just going on. Like I said, we just gonna have to hear out, day by day, listen to what's gonna come out. So
I really think this is one of them things you will never really know what happened. You just gotta hope. I mean, we hope he would come out and say something, but 9 times out of 10, he probably won't.
I mean, yeah, if he's already accepted the suspension and everything, like
yeah, he taking everything to the grave.
I mean, because you talking about Mike Evans earlier, this guy's he's fighting his suspension, right? Like, that's normal. Even though we all saw him on TV come off the sideline and deck a dude's blindside,
He snaked
he's
him.
still like, I'm still fighting it, even though everyone knows.
I
Like,
know I snaked him, but
right, so that makes you think that there's got to be
I
more.
was in my right. Wow.
That's why it
Wow.
makes you think there's got to be more to it if he's already accepted this suspension without it. So I don't know, man. But we'll see because based on what they've said so far, he has to get a second chance in this league. I mean, there's no way he doesn't based on what they've said. So
I mean, honestly,
the dude just went to the finals for crying out loud, like with Marcus Smart as the point guard.
Hey, I got a question though. Hypothetically, right? If they won that championship, do you think they treat this situation differently?
That's another good question too.
I have another question for you.
That's
Actually,
a good question. That's a great question.
They're saying that he was suspended a month or two ago, and it took
you get suspended a month or two. Oh well, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
No, I was saying you ain't even in season. I ain't get suspended, and you not in season.
No, but I'm saying they said that he's actually got suspended like a month or two ago.
And it's just not coming out that he's suspended.
Right.
Really?
And they also said it took them some time to investigate it. So it kind of makes me wonder if they actually didn't know about this when the finals were going on. Like how long ago this was, and like they just didn't want to suspend him during the finals or something. Like that. Honestly, I'm starting to wonder like how long ago this actually happened.
I mean,
if they knew about this during the finals last year, like so. For me, like if that's the case, if the Celtics were like, "Hey, we're gonna ride this out and go to the finals and not say nothing until after the finals," then there's speculation that listen, if you knew a guy was breaking a rule that you guys set or made, it doesn't matter who made the rule, but I feel like you are somehow liable to them because whatever. So yeah, I agree. There's a lot of questions we got.
Yeah, that's a great question. And they did just say that Nia Long finally broke her silence about everything. I mean, she didn't really say too much about it because of course I feel like she's more of the private person. She doesn't want to keep her business is already out there, but she wants to try to keep to herself as much as possible. But she just pretty much just want to focus on her kids, and that's all she cares about right now. So
that's the one person I will speculate about. Like, that's a bummer in her situation. This whole thing is a bummer for her situation, man. Because I mean, they're talking about this lady was the one who helped make, like, she was in charge of like making travel plan stuff, including Nia Long's travel plans. So like, this lady, while sleeping with him, was making travel plans for Nia Long to move.
I hope they wasn't doing it during their time, man. So.
That's what they're saying, though.
I'm hoping it was like maybe afterwards, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm hoping he wasn't, hitting it. And it was like, what, make sure my wife is on the next flight type shit. You feel me? So I was about to say, if something like that happened, he a bold dude for that, man.
But to Nico's point, like, this is a story because this guy is a star, man. Like, he is. He was the coach of the Celtics or the Nets, comes back, beats his team, sweeps them with Kevin Durant the next year, goes to the finals with a team that, Brad was trying to couldn't break that barrier into the finals for 8 years or something. I forget. Like this guy's a star. That's why it's a story. And there's a point where you can think I'm untouchable. I can just do whatever I want. But I'm hoping, man, like it's nothing too crazy. I'm hoping it's just some legal BS that they got going on that whatever, and we can figure this out. But
yeah, man. I hope everything work out for him. Please, next time, do not stick where you work, bro. Please, man. Come on, man. You got to be smarter than that, G.
Yeah.
If that really is it, though, I think that's a stupid rule, personally.
Right.
For a year suspension, like if it's just him, sleeping with women in the office, I feel a year suspension is over the top, personally, but my opinion.
Yeah. Well, from the finals runner-up to the WNBA Finals champion, the Las Vegas Aces, the Connecticut Sun to win. Is it their first?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's in a really long one. My question to y'all about this one was, because we've talked about the finals and the WNBA and all that stuff. Are they a dynasty? Is this team primed to be a dynasty? Because we think about all the time. We saw it with Pat Mahomes, right? He won one, and it was like this team. The way they won it was like, dang, this team is a dynasty. We've all experienced something like this with our teams. The '85 Bears. You had to be looking at them like, this is a dynasty. It never happened again. Miami Heat, when LeBron wins that first one, you had to be thinking dynasty. And then they win. They only win one more. For me, it was the Rams. When Kurt Warner, the Greatest Show on Turf happened, it was like, this is a dynasty. And then 2 years later, Tom Brady ended it, right? But like, you know what I mean? Like when you saw Nick Foles and the Eagles win, you didn't think dynasty, right? This doesn't happen every year.
Well, I think that's because he was the backup quarterback. I think that's what people.
Okay, but I'm just saying, even with even if if Wentz comes back, you're not thinking dynasty yet. No. This only happens every so many years in sports. This is one of those teams that you have to be looking at. I'm like, dynasty?
I think time will tell because what? Hold on. Because
no, I was just saying just because they have the coach too, right? A lot of dynasties have the coach, right? Yeah. And
I think if you can avoid that injury bug and that money bug, we all know what the money bug is.
True.
Yes, you can be successful, but
they ain't really tripping about the money over there in the WNBA though. They is, but they not though. You know what I'm saying? Not amongst each other. They tripping about more of the sponsor side, I should say.
Well, I think if they win another one, maybe even Asia might be like, hey, that time of the year, boy.
I mean, but you think about it, they were just there, almost there, a year or two ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I mean, they got all the potential, like you said. My fault.
But winning it is different.
That's
like let's be honest. So I think if they can avoid that injury bug and that ego bug, they'll be fine. Yes, we can say, oh no, it ain't no egos. They win another one or another two, them egos will start. Will start rising.
I don't know, bro. It's a different ball game between men and men, bro. I hate to say it, like what I'm saying, like.
I mean, it's a yeah. You're right.
I feel like as long as they keep they same core who they have, everybody now who they all have on the same team right now, I feel like they can definitely run it up for the next couple of years for real. Saying with Asia running it in the post, Chelsea Gray, that's baby Chris Paul right there. And Jackie Young, she's a young star, like really in the making for real, like what I'm saying. And then Miss Williams, like they really got a whole squad though. Like everybody can at least score over 10 points. And I didn't even mention Kelsey Plum, so it's like that's like the Mono Ginobili of the WNBA.
Nastiest step back in
bro. I'm trying to tell you, man. I call her little Mono. Bro. Real man, like
it looked like she doing the splits when she stepped back for that. Dude, I would fall over if I tried to do that.
That's a whole total package, bro. So yes, to answer the question, I feel like they could definitely run it up for the next years to come, man. Because they have everything. They have a starting five. They got people that can come off the bench. and they got coach, even got the coach and Becky Hammond. So I mean, going back to what I said earlier, I just feel like the coach it makes up a lot. You know what I'm saying, for a championship team, the championship run. So as long as they can keep everybody together, and like Nico said, the injury bug is they can stay away from that. Shit, Asia can win a good. She could do like how Maya Moore did. I think she won like 3 of her first 4 in her finals appearances or something like that. So the sky's the limit for the Aces right now, as long as they stay healthy.
Speaking of Sky are the only team who could, and after I'll give this to you, Nico, and you can end it with it. But for me, Sky are the only team who could have beat this team. And 5 of their top 6 scorers are all free agents. The Sky are going to look completely different next year. They can't bring them all back.
But I think
the only person who can stop this team is in Russia right now. Like, that's it. And Brittany Griner, she's got to come. Like, this is the only person who can come back and stop this team. Because if she can't come back and they can't build a team around her, then there's no one stopping this team for the next 3 years. I mean, what they didn't have 2 years ago was all this experience. And like you said, the coach, they didn't have that when they did this 2 years ago. They got everything now. As a matter of fact, injury bug, they could even lose. They maybe couldn't do a Golden State where like they lose Clay and KD and Steph gets hurt, whatever. But they could lose one of these players and still win the finals. They're that good.
And I hate to say, I really thought Connecticut really had a chance just based off of their size, and I mean just based off their size in the post, bro. Like they big as hell in the post, man. So I'm just thinking like, maybe Jones could get busy down there. You know what I'm saying? Asia, she ain't really the biggest, but Jones, she was big out there. So I mean, I thought Connecticut had a chance, but I mean they clearly didn't have a chance at all.
They're just too fast for Connecticut.
And I'm about to say the Ace definitely proved that in this matchup. So yeah. I mean, like John said, if the Sky can't get their, finances together and get everybody back, man, it's going to be a tough go for the rest of the WNBA, man. It looks like Vegas is about to be running it. It up like LA and Boston back in the day.
That's true. So speaking of running it up, Albert Pujols has become the 4th player in MLB history. And I told y'all.
Wait, no, don't say y'all. Say John. Say John.
I told you both.
I wouldn't have said, but I agree with you. Said he was gonna get it.
About Aaron Judge and Pujols.
No, Judge ain't got there yet. He ain't got there yet. He was still one away.
Man, come on, man.
I'm just saying.
Is one from tying or one from passing though?
One from passing. He tied it, but he won from passing, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. John caught me when I was like, hopefully get that record and the chip. But John, he a hater.
Whoa, hang on. To your point, the other day during college football, every Aaron Judge at bat, they were cutting to Aaron Judge.
They were
split screening, and people were very upset because people hate the Yankees. They're like, first off, this isn't even the MLB record. This is just the American League record. So let's calm down with what this is. But at the same point, get the Yankees off my screen. That was, I mean, there was a big thing on Twitter and all that, whatever. I don't get it.
The Yankees got that Laker mojo. Everybody ain't fans of them unless your favorite player or something go over there.
But no, people, man, baseball fans hate the Yankees, man.
Who's to say a lot of NBA fans don't rock with the Lakers?
Nah, like they might hate.
I think you got it wrong. They might rock with Kobe or Shaq, but they don't rock with the Lakers.
I agree with that, but dude, baseball fans, it's like the league hates the Yankees, man. It's like how like the rest of the league hates Brady. Like the league hates the Yankees.
Are you sure Houston ain't took that spotlight from last year or no?
Dude, Yankees have 27 World Series. Second place is St. Louis with like 11. Like it's just not even close. Like people are sick of the Yankees. So anyway, but to your point is I'm not alone there. A lot of people hate the Yankees.
You alone on this? No, I'm just playing.
Hey, but I'll give you guys credit for calling this. My whole thing was I didn't want to get my hopes up. I just, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be like, oh yeah,
The Cardinals fan. Why would you not even root for him though? Like,
Right.
I am rooting for him. I'm watching every at bat. I am rooting for him. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to get my hopes up and whatever. So
only reason you say you ain't want to get your hopes up is because the way how he was going through the first half of the season. But I mean, you
Yeah,
could kind
yeah,
of see.
they did say like the first like 47 games he had like 8.
Yeah,
It's
which
like,
is understandable. I can understand
it
why
was
you
like,
were hesitant,
geez.
but I mean, bro, he got his mojo back. He got that swing back. It was like, oh, I'm rocking him. But to your point, you always saying that people are just throwing him random pitches so he can just hit it out of the park. You know what I'm saying? But,
no, so they're throwing. I mean, they're throwing pitches that he's got to go get. Like, I'm not taking anything away from these pitches. However, they're not throwing like curveballs and sliders. They're throwing fastballs across the plate to him. Like, they're like, I'm gonna throw a heater. You got to go get it. But it is gonna be right in the middle for you. I'm just saying, man. He's catching these things right in that sweet spot. Like he ain't chasing them down up and away. He ain't doing none of that. I mean, these suckers are coming. It's like the home run derby, except they're at least throwing them 90 instead of 60.
True. Very true. But
So I'm still giving him credit. He did. It's legit record.
Mr. 700, him, Barry Bonds. It was him.
Hank Aaron.
Aaron.
That's a crazy list.
Oh, it was Hank Aaron. You're right. Yeah, that's a goated list.
Very.
Hey, real quick, and we can end it or whatever, unless you get some other stuff. But like, I was talking to my wife. Did you guys ever feel like A-Rod, like, was that guy? You know what I mean? Like, oh, A-Rod's playing. I gotta see A-Rod. Like, this dude has 690. He's in 5th place with 696. I never took A-Rod as like that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Did
true.
any of you guys ever?
Early on in his career, I did. I mean, because he started off early in his career, like with the Seattle Mariners, pretty hot. Like he was, doing like stealing the ball. I think he had like the quickest to the stolen bases or something. He was, his batting average was pretty high, I should say. But I mean, I felt like to start off, I thought he was, going to have a great. I thought he was going to be pretty goated, I should say. But he didn't. He turned out not to be so goated, I should say.
Well, to your point though, that's the thing, right? Is maybe I feel like MLB didn't pitch him as that guy. Like maybe because he was in Seattle or something, and maybe he's on the Yankees or the Cardinals. They would have.
I think he got overshadowed though. I think he got overshadowed by Jeter too.
I mean, yeah, he won one World Series, but I'm just saying, and outside that World Series run, he was like 5-11 in playoff series. But still, I mean. I feel like maybe part of it was he was in Seattle or something. I don't know. It's just for a guy who has 696 home runs, you think like when I think of the greats, I just don't think of A-Rod. And I think that's on MLB. I don't think, maybe you can say that to me, but I feel like MLB did not pitch him or promote him the way they should have. I don't know.
I would put it like this. He's Scottie Pippen to Derek Jeter's Michael Jordan. He just got overshadowed, I think.
I mean, a guy who has 50 runs 3 times in his career, I don't know how you overshadow him. That's what I'm saying. I feel like that's MLB. That's not on us. I feel like that's the Major League Baseball for me.
No, but I'm saying
in Seattle too. Or no?
I think so.
I mean, because this is like
that might have been an overshadowing.
Right, that's what I was trying to say. He might have been getting overshadowed in Seattle too because of the Griffey situation, Ken Griffey Jr. I mean,
yeah, but to your point, this is like Michael Jordan being overshadowed by Scottie Pippen. That's what this is. That's why I'm saying I feel like it's a promotion. He was hitting 50 home runs. No one was doing that. He was the only one doing this. How do you have a guy hitting 50 to 60 home runs?
Yeah, but Scottie was Mr. Everything for the Bulls.
Yeah.
He just got overshadowed by Michael Jordan.
Scottie was scoring 37 points a game.
That's the only thing he wasn't doing. Scottie was doing everything else.
Right, yeah.
But
that was the only thing.
If he was scoring 37 points a game and he got overshadowed by like somebody, I would be like,
it happens.
How? No, it doesn't. No, it does not 37 points a game. What are you talking about?
You just described it.
I'm literally saying this is Michael Jordan being overshadowed by Scottie. This is not Scottie. This is Michael Jordan. And somehow they didn't like.
Look, A-Rod got overshadowed by all the black dudes. Now let me stop.
This is guy's top 5 all time in scoring. Like we don't. Scottie Pippen is not top 5 all time in scoring.
The black dudes.
But he's top. I mean, but he's what? He made top 75 though, or top. I mean, he was easy. The 50 greatest of all time too, as well.
But that's what I'm saying. This guy wasn't Scottie Pippen on his team. He was the Michael Jordan of the team and got overshadowed. I don't know. For me, when I think of the greats, I just don't think of A-Rod, and I don't. Maybe that's my fault. Who knows?
You just proved our point.
But I don't feel like it's me. I feel like it's baseball did not.
But you just said when you think of A-Rod, you don't think of him as a great. But you look at his stats; he's pretty great. You just said it out your mouth. You proved our point. The captain is the one that was getting it done. It's okay.
Right, but to your point, though, Derek Jeter was Scottie Pippen. He was the guy who did all this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. He did all the odds.
It gotta be A-Rod.
Home runs.
A-Rod. Okay, would you consider A-Rod a great? A-Rod. Would you consider Derek Jeter a great?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. You just said you don't consider Derek Jeter. A-Rod. Yeah. But when you look at his stats,
I do consider A-Rod a great. It's just when I think of the greats, I feel like we're gone way too long on this topic. But when I think of the greats, it's just A-Rod doesn't pop in my head, and yet to see him like top 5 all time, incredible. So
yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
But kudos to Pujols, man.
Yes, sir, Mr. Pujols. Congratulations for going to 700. Mr. Judge, he's going to try to get Mr. 61 or 62 tonight against Boston.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and they say he was the first to hit 699 and 700 in the same game.
It's not bad.
Hey, and kudos to Federer. It was cool to see him and Nadal play a doubles match together.
Right.
Federer's kind of the people's GOAT. For a lot of people, he is like, Serena Williams. Like, even if you don't watch, a lot of people consider Federer their GOAT, whatever. A lot of true fans maybe consider Djokovic and all that, but still, man, kudos to a career from him. That's all I gotta say today. But it was fun to see him and Nadal play a doubles match together. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, to all you tennis fans, I'm sure that was pretty cool for Roger Federer and Nadal to play together. But I think Nadal ended up dropping out after that too, as well, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to two of the goats of the men's tennis side. But I think that's about the show, fellas. We're about to wrap it up here. Party people, we appreciate y'all joining us this beautiful Sunday morning. Well, it ain't too beautiful; it's a little cloudy out, but whatever. This your boy Big Boy, my boy Nico Suave over there looking suave and mofo. My boy John, the hardest working man. The show is, you feel me? Appreciate y'all joining us this morning. Watch some football. See if y'all picks. Y'all didn't write your picks in the comments or nothing, but what I'm saying, if y'all had some picks throughout the other week or whatever, just let us know if y'all won or not, and just see if we won. See who's gonna win this week and be king of week 3. So, like I said, it's your boy Big Walk, John, Nico, we out.